this video, I'll be revealing some of the top secrets professionals would never tell you and how I got to start directing commercials for big brands I only ever dreamt of. Posting your work on Instagram would not get you that big gig or those big jobs that you really want. To summarize it all, I'll say one word: networking. But if I was to break it down, I'm going to break it down into 7 different tips. If you're a pro already, you can skip over to step 3. But if you're an amateur like me, here are the 7 tips. Point number 1, have a clear sense of direction. Someone said to me one time, like, you could be going in the wrong direction really fast. And that stuck with me for a very, very long time. For me, I've always known that I wanted to shoot commercials right from uni. Like, I think I shot my first commercial for my uni in like 2015. I mean, that project looks shitty right now, but I did that back then. Just imagine, I was just realizing now that I wanted to shoot commercials. Obviously, I couldn't have done all this by this time. After this video, take some time and really ask yourself, do I want to be shooting commercials in the next 3 to 5 years? And stand by that decision and then slowly walk towards the goal. Point number 2 will be to find and connect with like-minded people. For me, straight out of school, as I said, I worked in Content Garage. That was a production company I worked with, and working there really skyrocketed my speed into knowing how to delve into the commercial industry. That was when I learned how to do treatments. That was when I learned about budgeting. That was where I learned about how to communicate with clients and a whole lot of other things that I would never have found on YouTube easily. You don't necessarily have to work in a video production company like I did. I mean, the most important thing is just make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right set of people that are thinking in the same direction as where you want to be. They say 2 heads are better than 1. Was it always true? Let's
be poor. Breathe.
Let your director's treatment stand out. There's no way I can overemphasize this particular point because this is what exactly paved the way for me. As an upcoming director, you're most likely going to be pitching with directors that have years of experience, like wicked experience. What would make them go for you as opposed to these other guys? For me, honestly, yeah, it was my director's treatments. I mean, there's a way you put together an idea for a client and they just can't resist working with you. They just want to see how the idea you put together will pan out on screen. For this reason, I'll be releasing 2 of my director's treatments on my digital store. You can check it out, purchase it if you really need them, and use them in your project. I can't wait to see you start bagging your commercial projects. Next thing I want to talk about is knowing your onions, like knowing your work and actually building a portfolio. I'm not going to talk too much about learning and building portfolio. I'm sure you already know the importance of that. But I'm going to talk about actually sacrificing to build like amazing portfolio. So if I'm giving a budget of 2M, that project must be looking like a 2.5 or a 3 million naira project. So there's a job that I did for I wouldn't mention the name of the brand, and I actually lost money on that project. I mean, so it happens, it works. That was scary. I don't know how it happened. My camera fell down. But yes, you get what I mean, Sha. Make projects that look more expensive than the budgets you're getting. Sacrifice to have better portfolio. Basically, important stuff like non-negotiable. That is the way you will grow, and that's the way you start collecting and working for bigger brands, and your portfolio will get better. You need to start branding yourself in a particular niche. Like for me right now, I brand myself as a director, not a production company, not a filmmaker, not a cinematographer, a director. So when people want to reach out to me, they know exactly what they're reaching out to me for. The so-called pre-productions that we're looking at, they only work with specialists. If you're going to the hospital to get your eye done, you want to work with an eye specialist, yeah? So same way it works in the film industry. Only specialists work on very big production because there's a lot of departments to be filled up. Your reel should literally be a catfish. Let me explain. Of every small project that you've actually done right now, there's that one frame or that 1 or 2 seconds that look mad. They look like high budgets. That is the frame I'm talking about. Take those frames, cut them together, and make like a 30 to 45 seconds reel. So that's be so long. If you're not having those kind of shots in your projects, that means you have to go back to step one and go and start building portfolio and creating good work and learning and knowing your onions. But if you have that, take those shots, put them together, make a beautiful reel, and start to market yourself. Talking about marketing yourself, you need to start reaching out to advertising agencies. Advertising agencies hold all the jobs. A brand would rather hire an advertising agency to take care of all their marketing needs, radio, billboards, posters, blah, 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 commercials, than hiring you that's just going to give them one video. I mean, it's more efficient for them. So reach out to them, send in your reel, your catfish reel that you've put together, send it out to them. And most likely you will start from the bottom. You have to start from like your social media content, social media campaign. Now take that social media campaign and shoot it like an actual commercial. As I said, make it look more expensive than the budget that you're giving. So you'll make sacrifices.
I make sacrifices.
This is exactly what worked for me. I'm telling you exactly how I did it. Yeah. So after building all this client base, it's will be very stupid to now lose them to very, very annoying things like bad communication, not delivering on time, not keeping all those petty things. You guys, you know what I'm talking about now. So my final point would be, try as much as possible to retain your clients. It's always easier to work with the same client again than trying to get new ones. I'm not saying posting your work on social media is totally invalid. It is very, very valid, but human beings just always tend to trust when someone recommends someone. 70 to 80% of the big jobs that I shoot be a true recommendation, were through someone that I've worked with before. If you've gotten through the door, please do not fuck up. Someone fucked up and that's why you got in the door in the first place. Even myself, there are projects that I still need to shoot. I still need to shoot for Apple. You get, and still need to shoot for Nike. Worldwide, basically. I'm still growing and applying these points that I just mentioned to my own self also. And I see you guys at the top. Please subscribe to the channel, grab our treatment template in the description, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.